So please welcome to the stage for Manifesting NFTs with the Mind, we have Lance King.
Hi, everyone. All right, so we're on Thursday now, so it's getting a bit late. Everyone, how's the energy level in here? Come on. I came all the way from Paris for this, so I want some energy. All right, thank you, guys. All right, let me just see how this thing works. All right, so manifesting NFTs with the mind. It's a little bit of a teaser. It's actually about generative art, but it's really, we're going to talk about how we can progress and evolve generative art. So what does it really mean? Well, we'll see. We'll get an idea. But first, let me just give you a little bit of background about myself so that we can sort of get some context. So I'm Lance King. I'm an interdisciplinary artist, so I work in a variety of media, and often I try to hybrid and fuse those media to create something new, create some sort of new aesthetic. And my symbol is, this double and really symbolizes the sort of meeting point of things that can sometimes seem opposite or contrary to create a new synthesis. So that's what that is. My background, I think it's important to note, in cognitive science. So I studied cognitive science with a focus on AI, but particularly on human-machine interfaces and human-machine interaction. So I think that'll give you some context when you see what this talk is actually about. And as an artist, so I worked in digital for a long time while developing my artwork. I worked in the digital sphere. As an artist, I've been really sort of focused completely on art for about 7 years, but I worked on it for probably another 15 before that. My work is, I call it hyperreality. It's based on a book by a French philosopher, and hyperreality is sort of that blurred line between real and virtual, analog and digital, and for me also humanity and technology. The work that I'm probably a bit most known for is this work called Network of Self, which is essentially a microchip capsule that I've implanted into my left hand here, and then registered my artist self on the blockchain. Now, why did I do that? It's, we'll get to that. But basically, most of my work really, in some way, will hybrid something that's physical with something digital. So by hybriding myself with, ultimately what is kind of an NFT or a series of NFTs or a network of NFTs, essentially is, for me, the ultimate sort of phygital work. And then basically using different devices, I capture data from my body, geolocation, all kinds of different vital data, and then essentially put them in a kind of dashboard, if you will, on a blockchain. And I'm also working on new works that will actually take the data and make it more visual, make it more sort of abstract, so that it's more sort of aesthetic and not just sort of like, numerical or scientific looking, as in this case. So essentially, okay, so the Network of Self project basically is tracking different areas of my sort of physical self. So physical self, emotional self is my next project to actually track how it thinks I'm doing. And then, of course, cerebral self. Now that brings me to the real sort of crux of this talk, which is generative art. And so everyone's seen, I think last year there was sort of a real boom thanks to art blocks of generative art. We got used to seeing this kind of thing. Basically artworks that are generated from algorithms. So in this case, the artist or creator or designer or coder writes an algorithm and gives it certain aesthetic parameters, and then it generates, different works of art with different kind of parameters, different kind of attributes that give it more or less some form of rarity. So my question was, how can I sort of take what I'm doing already with my body and with creating art that uses the physical, brings it to the digital, and sometimes going back and forth. And then I remembered, good old Doc Brown. I think everyone's probably seen Back to the Future. So in Back to the Future, this is a really funny scene where Marty walks in and he's wearing this massive, brainwave analyzer device. And we've probably seen that in a lot of sci-fi films, but this was probably the funniest use of it. So I thought, well, could I actually do something like that? Could I use my brainwaves to generate works of art? Because every artist, our goal is, if we could actually go from a pure thought or a pure idea directly to a work of art, For us, that's kind of the ultimate. So I discovered these devices, these brain-computer interface devices. I think you guys have probably seen a lot of them are coming out on the market. This one is probably more scientific because this one, which is produced by OpenBCI, which is a company here in Brooklyn, actually. It's really sort of a hobbyist approach. You have to put the whole thing together. You probably have to, if you can order, the whole thing together, but you still have to do some of the work. But these are basically electrodes. You can get them in 8 or 16 channel. I got 16 channel devices. Essentially, it allows you to capture EEG data. So you're essentially capturing your electrical signals from your brainwaves. And then basically what we do is we take this information, we feed it into what's called parametric software, which is essentially software that's used often by architects or designers so that you can sort of just use an algorithm or change variables and it'll give you different forms and, and sometimes things that you're not expecting. So what we do is we feed this information into this parametric software. So there's quite a bit of coding involved. And essentially, we start with a basic form. In this case, it's like what I call a ball of virtual clay. But it could be whatever you want. It could be Mickey Mouse's head. It could be whatever you want. It could be an existing sculptural form like the Thinker. And then you can transform that basically into various shapes. Sometimes you don't know what you're getting. And that's the beautiful sort of generative part. You'll get something that's more or less, perhaps aesthetic or not, but everyone seems to have a different taste, so even the ones that I might consider not as beautiful, other people seem to really prefer those. This gives you an example. So this is 16 channels. I'm glad this video is working. I didn't think it would. 16 channels being pumped into the parametric software, and on the right, so basically on the left are the electrical signals. Then you can see the different parts of the brain that's coming from. And on the right, essentially, are the different forms that are being created. So as you can see, some of them are more or less, sort of what you would consider aesthetic, and some of them are pretty weird and almost alien in form. But some people actually prefer those. And then, of course, these works will actually be made available for acquisition, so people could actually buy them, and we'll actually export sort of these, 3D objects. So you can actually have them and use them in your metaverse space, in your metaverse office, or your beautiful mansion in the metaverse. And they will also come with some utility attached to them as well. And of course, because my work is always going, from the physical to digital and then sometimes back, you can actually have these 3D printed in a variety of materials, from ceramics to high-end metal printing. So, coming this fall, as we used to say on American TV, I will actually do a 24-hour live performance where I'll be in a glass box in the gallery. Anyone can come and see it, so I'm just teasing it. I'll put it out with more precise dates later. But for 24 hours, I'll live in a glass box wearing one of these devices. And I will literally generate these works live during a performance, during which I will myself be running a code. So I'll have a program that every 10 minutes I have to do something very specific. So you'll be able to track exactly which works are generated at which time during that 24-hour performance. So, and I will be able to also have interactions with people who come either live or online. It'll be live stream. There will be interaction, and we'll be able to see what's generated if I'm eating, having a nap, I don't know, going to the bathroom, or just talking, taking messages, responding to emails, those kind of things we do every day. And half that time I also spend in virtual reality to see how that affects what happens to the brain when our stimulus is actually not real. So hopefully you guys will join me for that. And I think that's pretty much it. So if you want to see any of my work, I'm at Lance King on all of the social media, and lanceking.com if you want to follow me and keep in touch and send me questions. So thank you so much.
All right, everyone, I'd like to welcome for BCA Decentralized Curatorial Network System, Bohan Sun.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bohan Sun. I'm the founder of BCA Block Create Art, and I'm also a curator, collector, and designer proposer of the PO1 project, which is called Decentralized Curation System. Yeah. I'm sorry. From the establishment of BCA in 2019 until now, we have been focusing on ecology of crypto art and NFT marketplace in Asia and beyond. Let me tell you what we have done in these past 3 years. Yeah, we have planned nearly 60 exhibitions in Asia around the world. Yeah, and the most famous is the offline NFT exhibition. It's called Virtual Niche in China in UCC Labs. And we also have a cooperation with many Web3 institutions like the Binance, Polkadot, Web3 Foundation, and Bitman. And as well as we also have some cooperation with the NFT blue chips communities such as the CryptoPunks, BAYC, and Artifact or members, etc. In the past 3 years, we have worked with more than 1,200 digital artists, and more than 50% of the artists are from Asia, but their artworks have gone global. They have exhibited in our online and offline exhibitions and sold their works through our platform. We have also done many interesting things in the past, such as holding the largest exhibition of CryptoPunks in Beijing in July last year, and the exhibition of BAYC in Shanghai Worldwide Expo in September 2021, and this year's New Year's Eve at the most popular nightclub in Shanghai called Akoma. We plan a 7-day CloneX special exhibition party. And last November, we finally landed our physical large-scale NFT gallery. It is so far the only NFT community gallery supported by the government in China. This is our contribution to the evangelism of NFT blue chip project from the East. And now, here we are. Let me tell you more about our strategy layout in the education sector. We have cooperated with the Central Academy of Fine Arts, and also another cooperation with Tsinghua University and Christie's Academy and the Central St. Martin's and so on. Yeah, I hope to develop more strategic partnerships with top universities around the world on the topic of art and especially the NFT market. So now I have shown what we have achieved in the past 3 years. From everything we have done, we have elevated our project and create a revolutionary system with the concept of the decentralized curation system, which was demonstrated as the PO1 NFT project. Now, now this is the actual site of project PO1's exhibition at Shanghai Gallery. It is a brand new curatorial logic. This exhibition has also been reported by many international media. Now, I have shared with you some information about PO1. We know that the success of PFP profile avatars stems from the fact that they have been displayed countless times and seen by enough people. And that is how we can explain and make avatars are worth the price they bid from 2 dimensions: the time and the space. This is a complex data system that combines the IoT and algorithms, and the extension of the smart contract protocol. These are some institutions, galleries, and DA organizations we have been cooperated. Such intricate design, we believe we will empower more people and gallery or museums to discover deeper value and gain more benefits. We have developed two core applications in the past, namely our own marketplace and an application product that helps creators create NFTs more efficiently. And thank you for listening, and this is our social media and contact information. Just feel free to reach out to us in the future. Thank you so much.